We want to thank everyone for coming to the Fair Contracting Coalition, CPS Energy Business Opportunities Meeting, and the Quality of Life Champion Small Business Award for, actually it's going to be for 2017, so there's a typographical error on the agenda. We're just human, and we make mistakes. So, I want to thank everybody. Did y'all have a good Christmas?
Yes.
Are we all excited about 2018?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. First, before we get started, let's give a warm round of applause to Anthony Johnson and Paula Go's team for allowing us to be here today. Give them a round of applause. Also, we want to thank the members of the Fair Contracting Coalition, the logistics team, Clyde and B. Michelle and Rosie Baca and Anthony. You know, you got to have some heavy lifters. You got to have people, Jeff, to try to do some heavy lifting. People don't like to do heavy lifting, so let's give the heavy lifters a round of applause. And look at those beautiful plaques that we're going to give out today. Let's give Ray Martinez a round of applause. At this time, we're going to ask the Reverend Reuben R. Shield from Friendship Baptist Church to just stay where you are and just join hands with the person next to you to give us an invocation. The Reverend R. Shield.
May we bow. Father in heaven, how we just love to call your name. We just thank you for this opportunity to coalesce around your goodness and your mercy. Lord, we ask your choice blessings over this fair coalition group, that things be done decently and in order. Your word says that our soul should prosper even as we prosper. So we pray for fairness. More than fairness, we pray for favor and grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Let's give Reverend R. Shield a At this time, before I bring Paul Go Williams for the introductions, I just want to thank each and every one of you for a great 2017. We were able to help some people become millionaires. Everybody say, we helped. Some people to become millionaires. But they ain't going to tell you because they don't want you to know how much money they have. That's all right, Terry. We know who they are. But anyway, let me just say this about CPS Energy. For 75 years, this organization is what provides your lights and gas and has kept us warm the last few days here. So let's give them a round of applause. Let me just say, before I introduce Paul Go, I think it's, I want to take a point of personal privilege, Jeff, and thank CPS for how they stepped up during the hurricane season and how you went into those communities. Especially, I heard people from Houston say that CPS crew came in and they got our lights and gas back on. We should be proud that in the city of San Antonio that we have a public service, CPS public service, that can go anywhere in the world. Everybody say anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
We need to send them to Puerto Rico.
We're working on it.
Now, I'm serious.
No, we're
I'm serious, Sister Gabrielle. Huh? We need to send these people to Puerto Rico. For those individuals to be without lights and gas for this long, it's a shame and a disgrace. So we want to see that. I know San Antonio can make it happen, but Paula Gold Williams and her team has done a good job, not just in San Antonio, Texas, but they have touched the lives of the people who were hurt by the recent hurricanes, and we need to give them a round of applause for the work that they've done. Come on, let them know you're So one of the things we want to do here today, we're going to have some success stories that before I bring the introductions up, we're going to have some success stories of some individuals who have won some contracts from CPS Energy. And then we're going to have presentations by their team. We'll have other business opportunities. So some of you that are here from some of the other agencies will allow you the opportunity. Let us know what bid opportunities you have. And Sharon, you're gonna be filling in for Deborah today from the Alamo City Black Panther. She'll come with old and new business. Jane will talk about some of the SWIMBY policies as it relates to Bexar County. We'll have Greg and Clyde talk about other open records requests. And then we'll have the Quality of Life Champion Small Business Awards, which will be done by Terry Williams and Floyd Williams. And let's give Terry a round of applause for the hard work her and her. And then we'll have announcements. We have a lot of activity going on in January. If you look at your calendar there, it will show some of the things that we got coming up. So at this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to Ms. Paula Gold Williams, who is the CEO of CPS Energy. Paula, you have the floor.
Thank you.
Give her a round of applause.
Well, I do have a loud voice, but I always like to amplify. Happy New Year's! Happy New Year! So, a couple of things. I want to first and foremost thank you for many things. One, for being CPS Energy customers. I can't say it enough. You all own the utility. This community owns CPS Energy. Tommy, I so appreciate his kind comments and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Paul. Well, she's from the neighborhood.
I'm from the hood.
I mean,
The hood neighborhood.
Coliseum Little Park.
Yes, sir. But yeah, people always ask me, where are you from? I was born and raised here. I'm a product upon product of the San Antonio community. My dad was in the military, so after I was born here, we moved away but came back. I went to Sam Houston. I was a Cherokee. But ultimately, yes, we have served this community where the citizens of San Antonio have owned it for 75 years. I'd like to go ahead and tell you that we've actually been around for 157 years. When we started, the community had 8,000 people. Wow. And so our focus is on people first. This is why I'm wearing this medal. And if you never got one, this is the 2017 edition, but we are extremely proud because last year was our anniversary year to celebrate 75 years of serving you and you owning utility. And that means everything to us. And to Tommy's comment, the people that go out and make sure that power is restored timely, they are our best and brightest who care about keeping your service reliable. These are our field and craft and skilled employees who spend their life maintaining these systems and keeping them upgraded. And I'm going to take your well wishes, Tommy, and share them back with our organization. We are absolutely working on Puerto Rico. We have sent a scouting team out to Puerto Rico and 3 individuals. And so we're brief. Thank you. Oh, that's even louder. Sorry. So we are working on that. We also, our COO is now code lead on technical restoration of Puerto Rico. The challenge with Puerto Rico, one of them, as beautiful as it is, it actually has very old infrastructure and relies quite a bit on gas and diesel, when in fact it should be utilizing a lot of the rays and sun power from that perspective. And so there's a whole effort to try to figure out how to redesign it, not to just give them what they had, give them better infrastructure, better service. So we have made 5 trips around hurricane restoration across the nation, as Tommy so rightly indicated, and we are not done, and our efforts with Puerto Rico continue. So our goal ultimately is to get a team out there, a full team in terms of restoration. Our challenges, it's not continental. So we have never sent people over the water, and they need trucks. For us to send trucks over the water or by air has been a logistical challenge for us. There is no coverage of insurance once we hit the water or hit the air, because that's not, our trucks are normally on the ground. So we have some logistical things to work out, but I do want you to know we are committed to continue to work in every way possible to help Puerto Rico, just like we believe that reliability of power and new ideas and new products and services are inherently the right of this community, but when we can share our benefits back to the rest of the nation, we will gladly do that.
Beautiful.
The last thing I'll close with is, so the one thing about our business, it is full of investment, and we have big generating units and transmission lines and distribution lines, and the industry is very, very specialized. And we do have strong purchasing power, but we have not cracked the code, I think, ultimately on really getting more immersion of local and diverse spend. We appreciate what the Fair Contracting Coalition is doing, because we do believe in our commitment to the community. So we want to thank you again for your efforts in helping us work on getting more people involved and connected to CPS Energy's efforts to continue to operate well and keep in connection. So thank you for your mission. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for sharing what we could do to be better. We have made some connections last year that we were very excited about, and we will continue. And I am excited to be here with you this morning to kind of partake in it. Thanks for letting us host you. We will gladly extend that opportunity later in the year as you would like. We'd love to have you come in and share your thoughts and ideas. I will have to leave today. I've got to get ready for a council presentation, my other bosses. But I'm going to stick with you for a little while, and once again, thank you for the opportunity today.
Very good. Let's give it up for Sister Rebecca Bailey, who's going to introduce some people with the success stories, because CPS has some success stories. You want to hear them?
Yes.
Okay, so Rebecca, you have the floor. Give it up for Rebecca.
NPTC. One thing, as I look around at the audience, I see many of you that have gotten contracts this year. And to those of you who have, I thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. Today, we have 3 suppliers that have come in and have agreed to give a little testimonial about the work with CPS Energy. They're 3 small businesses. The first one is Computer Solutions. This is a local woman-owned small business. The CEO, Carolyn Labatt, is here today, and she is the CEO and also is involved in the daily operations of the company. Carolyn, will you come up? And also, we have spent about $13 million in contracted work with her.
So I'm Carolyn Labatt, CEO and majority owner of Computer Solutions. I'm very honored to be asked to speak today. CPS is one of our strong customers. We are an infrastructure IT company based in San Antonio. So we do work with network infrastructure, with unified communications.
Please just go a little closer.
Okay, sure, sorry. Call center, data center, mobility, and security solutions. We work with manufacturers like Cisco, HPE, Microsoft, VMware, Dell, etc. And we really have 3 areas of our company. So we do product sales of those manufacturers that we've talked about and others. Then we have a professional services team, a group of network engineers, security engineers, voice engineers that help implement projects. Then we have a managed services group where we can actually outsource some functions of IT for some companies. So we work with a lot of contractors actually who use their expertise in the field and use us to help manage their IT. We are a WBE, woman-owned business, SBE, and a hub in the state of Texas. And until just a few years ago, we'd really only ever done small transactions with CPS. But when they came up with we found out about their new call center modernization project, we came forward with a solution for them that was a lot less expensive than they had been considering, and were able to provide a solution that included maintenance for a 5-year window and reduce those costs, and at the same time improve customer service. So we helped replace the contact center and the IVR, and we rewrote all the scripts and prompts in English and Spanish and improved the call flow efficiency. After that, we were awarded a project for the enterprise phone replacement project to replace the phones for the rest of CPS. And sort of the point in highlighting these projects is you don't have to be a big company to do big work. You do need the technical skills, the project management, the manufacturer support, and the local presence to take care of the customers after the project implementation. We also do a lot of work with the city of San Antonio. We just finished a fun project at the Alamo Dome where we put in Wi-Fi, got it all in place in time for the Alamo Bowl, which was a pretty exciting game for everybody, and is getting ready for the Final Four in March. And we just finished doing work at San Antonio Airport and at all the missions doing Wi-Fi there. So we have certifications are important, and we do work with the SCTRCA and with the state. But the most important thing is to have a great team and a great culture. And if you can work with great customers, that's even best. We have been #1 best places to work in the San Antonio Business Journal in our category for the past 3 years. And that's really enabled us to keep a strong engineering team, keep them there and keep them happy. Since we're local, you often see the same engineers that come out and work with you time and time again. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. We also have NetSync Network Solutions here. They are a small business, Hispanic woman-owned. They have been awarded $28 million in contracts this last year. And we have Lonnie Owens here to represent NetSync. So come on up, Lonnie.
NetSync is also a, can you guys hear me? All right. NetSync is also a value-added reseller for all the major hardware manufacturers for technology, like Cisco, HP, EMC, VCE, which is what most of you guys' business applications actually run off of, right? So that's where we got our start at CPS through our DIR contract in VCE, and it's been a great partnership moving forward. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lonnie. Our third supplier that we have is Techline. In supply chain, not only do we procure buying services and goods, but also we manage warehouses and storerooms. We talk about restoring service, restoration of service. Well, at our power plants too, we have to maintain our power plants. So we keep materials and supplies in all these warehouses to be able to respond quickly. Techline is one of the companies that have provided much of our commodity items. They've been awarded approximately $190 million in contract spend. They are a local, small, woman-owned business. Robin Gregory, will you come up?
Am I good? Thank you. First and foremost, I would like to extend my gratitude to CPS Energy for inviting me here today and for wanting to highlight our partnership between Techline and CPS Energy. It's a partnership that's been 30 years in the making and one that I've been privileged to be a part of for 22 years. And I'm showing my age now. At Techline, we're a utility product distributor, like Becky was saying. We supply all the materials that CPS uses to construct and maintain their distribution, transmission lines, and their substations. And we have a tool division where we supply safety equipment for their linemen to work safely and get home to their families every night. At Techline, we strive to be more than just a distributor of products to CPS Energy. We take pride in adding value-added services to every product we sell. Just some of those services include, we have bought a fleet of reels and we offer a cut-to-length cable program. We have supply and logistics solutions for our partners. And we offer e-business solutions for our partners. We're in a fast-moving industry, and it's important for us at Techline to be innovative and progressive with our partnerships. I work with CPS daily on many different levels, from supply chain to engineering, construction, and even the warehouse personnel, to make sure that we're offering the latest products and services so CPS can be successful in their endeavors for asset management, reliability, and their employee safety. Lastly, we look forward to many more years of our valued partnership, and thank y'all for having me today.
Thank each of you for coming out today. I really appreciate it. And a round of applause. Thank you.
We're gonna ask Sister Paula Go Williams to come back for a few minutes. She's gonna bring up another minority business that's got a recent contract with CPS Energy.
Hopefully one day we'll have a meeting where it'll just be those type of announcements for this entire room. But in the interest of time, TC's only giving me a little bit of time. But I did want to add another person that would like to come up and talk about their company and their work. Richard Liao with Atlas. I'd like you to come up. For context, we have about 3,000 people that work at CPS Energy. We have about 3,000 pieces of vehicle operating status, trucks and trailers and all these big bucket trucks. And our fleet is extremely important to us. Just so you know, San Antonio, CPS Energy has one of the top 50 fleets in the nation. And it makes a difference to us to be able to have people that can help us keep those fleets going. So I'd like you to talk a little bit.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be here, and thanks CPS for the invitation. My name is Richard Liao, and I am the owner and general manager of the Atlas Body Shop, which is at 922 East Carson. Our original location was at 2038 East Carson, which was back in 1950. We happen to be in the Eastside Promise neighborhood. We've been at the same location since 1971. We employ 34 people, most of whom live close to the business. We're proud to be one of the Eastside's oldest businesses and one of San Antonio's largest independent collision repair centers. I want to thank Robert Gurley and Anthony Johnson for their assistance in awarding Atlas Body Shop a 5-year contract extension with CPS. This extension will boost our company, which has suffered along with so many other Eastside businesses since the Fort Sam Houston gate closure after 9/11. CPS has my promise to deliver quality repairs along with fast turnaround time on all your company vehicles. Finally, I want to thank TC Calvert for his leadership in the Fair Contracting Coalition and the major impact it has had on small businesses throughout San Antonio. Thank you.
And there are two people that I wanted to call out today. One of them is Al Rodriguez, who has just been on our Citizens Advisory Council and served last year as a chair. And he is coming off of that role, and now he is, I guess, chair emeritus. I'll call you Al. But our CAC is extremely important to us. There is a representative from every district, and then there are at-large members, and they help us to a great degree really think through how we can be a better company. And I think it's a testament for him to have stepped down from chair but be here today. So I would like us to give him a round of applause and appreciation for the CAC. And I'll end with something else for my second round. In my right hand on the financial side is Ed Fleming. Ed Fleming is our CFO. Ed is actually an engineer who decided that he wanted to expand his skills and become a CPA. And he brings his experience to us and oversees the supply chain effort and supports Bob and Anthony and Becky and everyone in terms of how can we do better. So if you don't see me, he is absolutely in charge of the program and Accountable Ed, and he keeps me absolutely involved, and he will make sure that I get to visit with you multiple times during the year. But I want to thank him for his efforts in taking this on.
Thank you, Paula, and Tommy, thank you for inviting joining us, and we're honored to have the group here. We are totally committed to our community. As Paula had said, we're a little bit over 3,000 employees or so. We live and work in the community, so we really are a part of San Antonio. And so we support the community in every way we can, and one is through local spending. Through the first 9 months of our fiscal year so far, in this fiscal year, we spent $145 million in our local economy. And I think that's we're proud of that number. We want to do better, but I think that's a really good start to invest and really make the local businesses grow here. We've also spent $130 million so far this fiscal year, the first 9 months, on diverse companies, women-owned, minority-owned businesses here in San Antonio. So, as you can see, the numbers speak for themselves. I think it shows our commitment. As Paula said, we're never happy with who we are. We always want to do better, but the numbers are improving. But I think it does show that we're entirely committed to making sure that we're very supportive of you and the rest of the local business community. One of the things we want to make sure of is that all of you are registered with us as vendors. And that's very important. We can't really reach out to you or you understand what we're have out for bids unless you're registered with us. So I would implore all of you to get a hold of Bob or Anthony or give me a call, and we'll make sure that you're registered. That's, as a vendor, that is one of the biggest things, favors you can do yourself or your friends. If you know other people in the business community, reach out to them, ask them, are you registered with CPS Energy? Again, if you are, we'll send out RFP information to you when we have bids that you'll qualify for, and so we'll make sure that everyone who can bid is sent this information. So again, that's of utmost importance, and make sure that you are registered as vendors, and then, again, we can do business. So thank you, appreciate it.
Let me introduce Bob Worley.
Sorry, Bob.
No worries, sir. Hopefully, I'm the director over supply chain, by the way, and I'm happy to be with CPS Energy. In my tenure with CPS Energy, I've seen a lot of growth and development in the small and local business arena. And I'm really happy to say that I hope that you all have heard, felt the commitment that CPS has for continued growth in the small and local space. That being said, as Paul indicated earlier, we're continuing to look for opportunity. And in looking at opportunity, when I came to CPS, I happened to notice that there was a magic number, $25,000, where if you were under that threshold, basically the business units in conjunction with supply chain could basically do what they wanted to do with who they wanted to do it with, right? When I look at small business, that's kind of a sweet spot, for a lot of companies. So we changed that. We said, no, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to open that door. We're going to allow small businesses to participate because it's important in that space. And oh, by the way, not at just one penny, but all the way up. You have to solicit small local businesses. And oh, by the way, if we try and we are unsuccessful, then we have an opportunity to move into the next phase, which is subcontracting opportunities. Because we know sometimes some of the projects are just too large, and it's not feasible for a small company to take something on like that. So how can we get you involved? So we force and push subcontracting opportunities. And that being said, today I have the pleasure of introducing a gentleman from Sunt, who is taken on, they are our contract manager at risk, who is building our new headquarters building. And with that comes a lot of subcontracting opportunities. So I'm going to ask Ben if you would come on down, sir, and kind of talk a little bit about the future opportunities, because I think, a big number is at stake. So what do you talk about? Ben? Thanks, Bob.
Yes, again, as Bob said, my name is Ben Martin. I'm with Sun Construction, and currently we are we have been awarded and we have begun the new headquarters project for CPS. This is an exciting project for us. CPS has given us a goal, and we have committed to a 25% of the contracts, subcontracts that we have going out to small minority, women-owned, veteran-owned, disabled business subcontractors. In addition to that, so the majority of the dollar value will be subcontracted out to construction companies and subcontractors and specialty contractors. However, in addition to that, the job site needs a number of periphery and ancillary services, such as janitorial services, business supplies, reproduction, catering. And so there's a lot of opportunities for disadvantaged and small businesses to participate in a construction project if you're not a construction company. So there's different procurement opportunities coming out on the construction side around the last week in February, first week in March. We are going to be, we'll have a large procurement for the new parking garage, which is going to be on site. That's roughly $25 million of subcontracted opportunity. In addition to that, beginning of the summer, June, July timeframe, we will have another large procurement opportunity of about $25 to $30 million of subcontracted dollars that go out for the tenant improvement and finish out work of these towers. So even though the job has started, our procurement and awarded subcontractor dollars is not finished. So we invite you to contact me. I do have cards, and I will be around at the end of the meeting to discuss with each of you the businesses that you have and opportunities you would like to see on this project. In addition to the CPS project, Sun Construction does do a lot of work here locally. We currently have contracts with VIA. We are actively pursuing the bond work with the City of San Antonio. All these projects, and we also do a lot of TxDOT work too. So all these projects come with the commitment we've made to small and minority disadvantaged businesses. So there's more opportunities than this one project. We do appreciate CPS's participation and allowing us to speak today so we can get as much participation as we can from small and minority businesses. Thank you.
Okay, and that being said, every business that's committed to what we're trying to achieve should have a champion. And our champion at CPS Energy happens to be Anthony Johnson. So at this time, what I'd like to do is turn it over to, he's the chief.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for coming again and allowing us to host you today. I'm going to be sharing some information on how to do business with CPS Energy. I'll bring up a presentation here. It's coming on there. Okay, so I'll be giving a little bit of a highlight on supply chain purchase, the types of things that we procure, the guidelines that we follow, our methods of solicitation, the requirements that we have in responding to a bid, access to opportunities, so how can you access what bids we have coming out, and then how to register as a supplier. So we have three major items represent our purpose. First, we want to efficiently procure quality materials, goods, and services at reasonable cost. We want to enhance our ability to provide reliable materials and services on a competitive and equitable basis. And lastly, but most importantly, we want to expand our supplier diversity program to the maximum extent possible.
So what do we procure? You know, we are an electric utility company, so we do procure direct input items, commodities like transformers, trucks, poles, wires, what have you. But we also procure services, much like the services that Carolyn provides, and also NetSync, consulting, engineering services, janitorial, IT staffing, and construction services. To name a few. We do follow guidelines set forth by our procurement policies and procedures approved by our Board of Trustees. We do also have a supplier diversity program in place in which we use and requires our large prime subcontractors to provide procurement opportunities to small and local diverse businesses through subcontracting, like the Sun project for the headquarters construction. And then also, we allocated an evaluation preference to small and local businesses during the solicitation review process. So as Bob mentioned earlier, all amounts of procurements regardless of threshold require competitive solicitation. We do have an abbreviated process for procurements in the amount between $25,000 and $50,000, in which we reach out to and notify two small local women, veteran-owned, et cetera, businesses on a rotating basis. And then all procurements greater than $50,000 require a sealed competitive process for solicitation. But hub suppliers are solicited in all instances. Our methods of solicitation. Our request for quotation generally applies to commodities and generally based on price for those commodities. Our requests for proposal are dependent upon qualifying factors and evaluation criteria that's set forth in the RFP. And lastly, we have a request for qualifications that's generally for professional services. Insurance and bonding requirements vary based on the risk associated with the service being procured. Solicitation information. So when you're in the process of responding to a bid, all communication associated to a respective bid must be directed to the procurement analyst responsible for that activity. And when you go to our website, which I'll show you a screenshot of later, you'll be able to click on available bids and the procurement analyst's contact information will be available to you. The procurement analyst creates a summary of the responses received. The using area performs an evaluation of all the responses, and then suppliers will send a notice advising them of the award when the determination has been made. So here you see a screenshot of how we advertise our opportunities on our website. We do also advertise opportunities on social media as well, through Twitter. So when you go to our website, basically you go to www.cpsenergy.com/bids. They'll take you to this page, and you'll be able to access all of our bid opportunities. Each of the items in bold prints are actually a link. When you click on that link, it will bring you to the detail sheet for the actual bid. So you'll see detailed information about the bid and then contact information for the procurement analyst and also the due date to respond to the solicitation. So how do you register with us? We do have a process through our supplier registration site at cpsenergy.com. We also have contact information on who you will be interacting with when you go and register. Our business administration team, which consists of a few members. One of them is here today, Allie. But Alyssa Kusiak is here today. She'll be able to answer any questions you may have about registering. She's a part of the business administration team, and you can reach out to her or myself through the email supplierdiversity@cpsenergy.com or 210-353-2474. I think Allie just stepped back in. So just please see Allie if you have any questions about registering. So during the registration process, you'll submit an online application. You'll submit general information, remittance information, any reference that you may have, company history, and examples of the products and services that you provide during your company's history. You will interact with the business administration team. You'll select the core categories that you will be interested in providing CPS Energy so that we don't flood you or bombard you with RFPs for things that are not in your core competencies. And then you'll submit additional documentation like a W-9 and a business questionnaire and get some information about your company. Any questions for me today?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We want to thank CPS Energy and their team for the fine work they've done and continue to sustain San Antonio and to keep us warm during this cold, chilly winter that we're having. So give Paula Gold and her team another round of applause. At this time, we're going to move the agenda quickly. Under other business opportunities, I'm going to ask Alamo Community Colleges to come at this time. Brother Ross Mitchell with the bid alerts that Alamo College has, and then I'm going to ask Mayor Saul to come, and then I'm going to ask Eddie or Covell, who's here going to do for Via. Brother Covell, can I get y'all, Brother Dudley, can I get y'all so we can move quickly? Everybody said we want to move the agenda quickly. All right. So, anybody else that's here that has bid opportunities at this time? Now, if you're not certified, Brother Johnson, stand up, Brother Johnson. He always acting shy. Brother Johnson, real quickly, you want to just tell them that you're here to get them certified.
I am here to get you certified. If you put it off in 2017, let's not put it off in 2018. Certify your local as well as the federal.
And I'm going to ask, where's Brother Dudley from VIA? Can he come on up? And also Mayor Saul, so we can move the agenda quickly. Mr. Mitchell, you have the floor.
Thank you, TC and FCC and CPS for having us here. My name is Ross Mitchell. I'm the swimming coordinator for Alamo College. I did a registration with us, and I also talked to you about how to do business with Alamo Colleges. Currently, we have a bid out on the street for the executive search services. The bid closes next week on January 11th. If you need additional information, I left a flyer outside, or you can contact me. I have business cards. Upcoming bids, we have an inbound call center services that's going to be coming out pretty soon.
Ross, you got a handout on any of this?
She passed them out as they were coming in.
Okay,
I
good.
left them at the table up there. If not, Rosie should have some outside. We have the investment advisory services, the purchase of student loan default advisory services, floor care and carpet care, window washing services. That one was previously out, but it was canceled. We had to do some adjustments to it, but it's coming back out pretty soon. And we also have coming up a garbage and recycle disposal and electrical services. And also I have a link. If you need one of these flyers, you can contact me or give me your information. I can email it to you. We have a link to our registration where our bids are posted, and also where you can register to do business with us also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's give it up for Ross. Mayor Saul, Mrs. Robles from Saul's. You got a handout for us?
Yes, sir. Michelle's handing them out. Good morning and Happy New Year. How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
So our fiscal year just started January 1st, so we don't have a whole lot out on the street. But if you've never heard our spiel before, we have two sides of the house that issue bids and proposal opportunities. One is our contracting department, and my boss, Philip Campos, Director of Contracting, is here. And we also have our purchasing department, and that's all of our stuff, our goods and general services, our commodities. And so we have two construction projects out in the street right now. One is Dos Rios WRC Headworks Enhancement Project. So Dos Rios is our wastewater treatment plant, and that's a 2.1 million project. But we also have over at Dos Rios a roof replacement project. That's worth $500,000. And so if there are any roofers in the room, I put a description of the bid, what's going on, and you would go to the website at the top of this sheet for more details. Just as with CPS
What's the
Energy,
timetable?
it is due on the 31st of this month.
Okay.
And just as with every other entity in the room who you'll hear from today, you do need to register with us to be able to download those bid documents. Those instructions are on the back side of the sheet. All right. Now moving to the bottom of the page, under procurement, we have a bid out for valves, our annual contract for spark plugs, for portable chemical toilets, and portable trash pumps. My contact information is at the bottom. If you have any problems registering, if you have any questions, please contact me, and I will direct you to the person you need to talk to at SAW. So thank you very much.
Thank congratulations, you see you're gonna have another baby.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, give it up for Marisol Rogers. King, queen. All right, let's hear from Brother Dudley from VIA.
Thank you. Terry Dudley with VIA Metropolitan, and we do have a list of stuff we place on the table out there. So we currently have temporary labor services, which is due January 4th, that's today. January 12th is ZF transmission rebuilds. Those are transmissions that are in our transit buses. And paint and related products, that opens January 17th. That's masking tape, paint, Bondo, pretty much anything you need to repair body parts for buses. And bus batteries opens January 26th. And then RFP for electric buses and depot charging system. That's a pretty large project. It's not just buses, it's also construction of a recharging facility at VIA. That opens February 5th, and then February 12th is bus differential parts. And I wanted to mention a couple of the upcoming projects. Bus shelter and display advertising services. That's a pretty big contract with a lot of opportunity. We're looking at things like digital signs, all sorts of media type displays that could be on buses, could be on bus shelters, could be at transit facilities. So I think there's a lot of opportunity locally for that. And then another big one is the VIA Transportation Services that will be going out probably later this month. If you're aware of our VIA Trans service, we contract about 52% of that, I believe. And so this contract will cover that. And then I wanted to make one other announcement. I have a new boss, and she's going to kill me for doing this, but she's here today. Her name is Diane Sampson, and she's on her third day of the job at VIA. I'm sorry?
Is she taking Diana's
No,
place?
no, sir, it's a new position at VIA.
Oh, okay, it's a new position.
Yes.
Okay, well, who's taking Diana Mendoza's place?
We are about to,
We're gonna announce that soon, all right. I'm getting ahead of myself. I thought y'all had brought in his sister to take it.
Vice President.
Okay, very
Yes.
good. There you go.
Yes, so welcome, and thank you for putting me on the spot. It's a new boss.
All right, Jay. Okay, let's hear from the city of San Antonio. Is it gonna be Michael, Renee, or Amanda? Okay, Amanda, go ahead, you have the floor.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Reyna. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the outreach person for the City of San Antonio Small Business Office. So first things first, you do want to get certified with the SCPRCA, and then of course you want to get registered as a vendor with the City of San Antonio. If you visit sanantonio.gov/SBO, we have a list of steps there that you must follow. Of course, you can reach out to me at amanda.reyna@sanantonio.gov. We have several projects out that are listed on our sanantonio.gov webpage, and I'll be sure to get your email addresses from the sign-in sheet outside and get these over to you guys. But just some quick highlights. We've got airport advertising concession, requests for proposals. We've got on-call electrical services. As you know, the city procures almost everything under the sun, so we've got a lot of opportunities out there, construction, electrical, landscaping. So I'll be sure to get these opportunities out to you guys.
Very good, Amanda. Anyone else, any private contracts coming up? We heard from Sundance, very good, that's coming up. Let's have Sharon, who is going to be filling in for Deborah Omawale, who's in Austin Day for Alamo City Black Chamber to come with old and new business. I'm going to ask all the people who are on the agenda. Oh yeah, CPS, our host, I'm sorry. Brother Anthony, I'm sorry. You can call me out on that. So who's going to do it? You? All right, go ahead.
Thank you, TC. We do have a few items out for bid right now. The first is a contract for condenser coating services to restore surface condenser reliability on the condenser at our Summers 1 power plant. We have another item for parts and services for a gas turbine. And then lastly, we have a contract out for chimney inspection and repair services. And as always, I have a list of expiring contracts We'll have both of these lists available for you to pick up in the back at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
All right, let's give it up. Did I leave anybody else? 'Cause I don't want y'all calling me later on. And now, well, you let so-and-so do their thing and you cut me off. Come on, Sharon, from the Alamo City Black Chamber, and I'm gonna ask Greg and Clyde and Jane. Let's get it all knocked out at the same time. Come on, y'all, come on, let's just run through this real quick, 'cause everybody's here for the awards. So, Sharon, you have the floor.
Oh, I'm Sharon Reyes, and I'm the second vice chair with the Alamo City Black Chamber of Commerce. And I just thank you for having us here, and I want to encourage everyone to become a member of our chamber. We have a gala coming up tomorrow, so just want to throw that out there. And in the next coming weeks, we will be announcing a agreement with Bexar County and the Black Contractors Association having to do with mentorship program for to ensure that we get a place at the table with regards to some bond issues and things like that. So that's what we have to announce right now.
Okay, that's very good. And we're glad. Now, most of y'all know my son is the county commissioner from Precinct 4, but they have not done a good job. And I'm just going to call them out. They haven't done a good job. We've been working on this Linson since 2010, 2011. Everybody say 2010. 2010. And the county has not been very responsible in giving up their data. I don't know what they hiding down there. But it's sad, Dawkins, that they're going to get an F this year in the report card for the second year in a row. So if there could, I would ask Jane to come to talk about some policy issues, and I'm going to ask Greg and Clyde. These are my two mean guys. Everybody thinks Calvert is the big bad wolf. There's the bad cops right there. So when you hear about Clyde Foster coming asking for open records request or Greg Jackson, these are ones you need to fear, not T.C. Calvert. I'm the one that'll keep them off you. So Jane, you have the floor.
Hello everybody, my name is Jane Gonzalez and I'm a local entrepreneur. I own a business by the name of Medicos Incorporated. It's medical equipment, medical devices. And I just really want to take a moment to thank the coalition, the community working together in collaboration with all the different agencies, because you could see the impact that we're having. It has a very significant impact. But I'm here to talk to you about policy. And 5 years ago, my company lost a contract with the city of San Antonio by less than 10% to a major conglomerate. And we began talking in regards to what it is that we can do to improve the local procurement, and as a result of that, we made recommendations, working with Michael Sidden and Renee Dominguez, to make a change to the policy. And because of that change of the policy, understanding and providing feedback in what we can do to strengthen those policies for local procurement, it resulted in my business an opportunity to win a contract that had been absolutely closed, not only here in San Antonio, but nationally. Very, very significant, and it's because we all work together. So now, Bexar County, it's really sad to me to see the challenges that are being faced with Bexar County. It gets back to policy. I looked at the SWIMBY policy, and then I looked at the procurement policy, and they are in direct conflict. They're talking from both sides of the fence. On the one hand, the SWIMBY policy says, we're going to do everything that we can for local procurement, we're going to do everything that we can for our local SWIMBY companies, we're going to look at best value, and it just goes on and on. And then when you look at the procurement policy says, we're going to go low bid. And so which one is it? At what point in time, who makes the decision that you're going to enforce the best value to help your local SWIMBYs? Or you're really going to say, it's the taxpayers' money, I got to go buy at the lowest bid. The other thing, the other issue that I see is with cooperatives. The city of San Antonio, my company, was very recently got awarded a few contracts with our cooperatives. One of the cooperatives that is recognized both by the city and also by Bexar County is called Buy Board. Yep. So then I asked a question to Bexar County, okay, Bexar County, these pricing has already been vetted, both at the federal government level, at the state level, the local level. At what point are you going to say, I'm going to save all the labor dollars doing bids and solicitations, but instead I'm gonna utilize the cooperative contract.
That's right.
The answer that I got was, it's gonna be competitive bid.
That's right.
Okay, Jane, let's go.
So, anyway, the bottom line for this is that, as TC was mentioning, the transparency, and I'm gonna request, from TC, if we may, dig into this policy, more deeply, and I would also request for us to meet at Commissioner's Court, and maybe starting with Judge Nelson Wolf.
Okay, all right, so Jane has put a motion on the floor that we meet with Wolf, and let's put Gary Smith in there as well. So let's get a motion on that real quick. Let's get somebody to make a motion on it. Come on, let's.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
make a motion, and is there a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries. At this time, very good, Jane. Give Jane a round of applause. You gotta have, some of y'all say, well, Jane, she's too radical and she raises too much hell. But you gotta have some Fannie Lou Hamas, and you gotta have some Rosa Parks, and you gotta have some people like that in the business world. Because some of you are tree shakers, and you got apple pickers. So the FCC, we're tree shakers. Some of y'all just like to come, Jeff, and get the apples. So we need more. Everybody say we need more? Tree shakers. Because there's too many of y'all picking the apple. All right? Clyde, you have the floor.
I'm apple picker. Good morning, everyone, and happy 2018. We'd just like to thank you all for your service and your time and sticking through us with the FCC. We are here today to let you know that some of the agencies have not been nice for 2017. So what we're doing our Open Records Request Act to make sure that they're held accountable to the standards that we hold them to. This is not their money. This is tax.
Let's say that again.
Yes.
This is
This
not
is
their
not
money.
their what?
Not their money.
Some of the, let me just say this, Paula, and you ain't like this, and Fleming's not like it. He knows the money belongs to the people, and Jeff knows it too, and so does the city. But some of the people, Sanchez, think it's their money. And the FCC is here to tell them, this ain't your money. This money belongs to the taxpayers of Bexar County. This money's not Nelson Wolf's money, it's not Gary Smith's money, and it's not Renee Watson's money. This money belongs to the citizens of Bexar County. Oh yeah, I called them out.
Right.
I'm not scared of them. Some of y'all are scared. I'm not. Go ahead, Clyde.
So what we'll be doing this year, we'll be implementing an Open Records Request Act, and we want to make sure that they're held accountable and their feet stand to the fire. We need to make sure that our small businesses are held to the highest standard. We have companies coming out of all across the United States who get competitive bids here in San Antonio, but what happens to our small minority businesses? So we'll be implementing this procedure starting effectively tomorrow. If you're here in the room and you have your spies, tell them we're coming for you. We're going to be having all the information. Will be sent out to you via email as far as the press releases that are going, and also the Open Records Request Act. So 2018, guys, we want to make this a good, fun event. However, we want people to be held accountable. Thank you.
All right.
Clyde has stated everything. I just got one announcement. If you did not get a handout from Alamo Community College, I'm gonna give you Mr. Ross card. Email him and he'll get it to you. So by a show of hands, who did not get an Alamo Community handout? Thank you.
Okay, Greg, tell them you're on the open records. Oh, yeah. Some people need to know who you are, so when they call you, they give you the respect.
Well, we're gonna get that anyway. Yes, I'm a part of the Open Records Department with Mr. Clyde, and we have several others in the room that are not here today. But Ms. Piper is sitting in the back. By show of hand, that's Ms. Piper. She works at County Word on staff out there. So we mean business going into 2018. As Ms. TC and Clyde has mentioned, the county, it's been 7 years now. So something's wrong. And we're gonna get down to the bottom of it. Matter of fact, I think it was in September that I submitted for open records for the county. And Clyde came back in October and did the same thing this year. And before the beginning of the year, we have not got a response back yet. So we mean business, and if we have to have a press conference, that's what we're gonna do next.
Oh yeah, we're gonna call some people out. Now look, I'm gonna take a point of personal privilege, Sister Bo Williams. We wanna set a policy where we did with the city of San Antonio. Renee, what is it, 21 days we pay these people, or 11? What is it? What did we come up with?
Under 30.
Under 30. Well, we got the county. Some of y'all in here for the county. Remember, my son's a county commissioner, and I'm calling him out. He gets an F. My son gets an F. Cecilia went down there. Cecilia, come and take a point of personal privilege. Come to the mic. This woman, did you lay the floors down there at the county? And tell them how long it took them to pay you. But don't take all day. And tell them how long it took them to pay you.
Well, I was a subcontractor for a general contract on a Bear County project. We did I think it was the 13 courtrooms. And it took literally 4 months before we got our first draw.
How many months?
4 months.
Now, can a small business stay in business running and not get paid 4 months?
No.
That's why we adopted the policy that the city has, and I want to thank Renee and Michael for the policy we have with the city. We want the county to adopt the same policy that the city has in getting you guys paid. Go ahead, Cecilia.
It then took 7 months before I got our retainage. And I sent an email to all county commissioners, and I carbon copied TC, because he said he was the advocate and the backbone for small businesses, and I'm sorry, but I'm tired of fighting these battles on my own. I'm a successful contractor, I'm a hard worker, I'm experienced, and we should not have to deal with this. And this is why I do not bid with general contractors, for the mere fact that we have to wait that long just to get a draw. And so with Jane and with Mr. Calvert, I want policy to change as well with the general contractors, that we as subcontractors should not have to wait 90 days, 120 days.
All right.
Thank you.
Give it up for Cecilia. Dawkins, just a point of okay, Dawkins, quickly.
I just want to know what has been the county's response. I mean, what?
Well, we're going to deal with that. We're not going to get that deep today. Right now, we want to give out some awards to those that have been. Now, let me just say this. To those companies that are going to get, let me ask Terry Williams and Floyd Wilson to come at this time, and also Dr. Piper and B. Michelle and Valerius. Valerius has helped us real hard on this. They're going to help with the awards. Come in and help pass them out. Now, look, guys. The team worked over the holidays while some of y'all had sugar plums dancing through your head and you were decking your halls with boughs of holly. Some of us were still at work. Now, on the award for, where's Ray Martinez? Ray, come on, don't try to hide. But look, rather than go get a rich company to do the awards, we went and got one of our own, Linson, and Ray Martinez, who's right here on the southeast side. Come here, Ray. So, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Just tell the people who are getting the Transparency Accountability Awards, we're still working on your award, but we want you to see what it looks like. We want you to come up here and take a picture, but we still need to put the engraving back. So Ray, tell them when that's gonna be ready.
That part should be ready early part of next week. We'll have those done.
So is it okay, say, Ray, we forgive you. We know y'all, everybody was eating a lot of tamales, making tamales and eating all that food. So look, we're gonna just get you to take a photo with it, but we're gonna make sure you do it. So at this time, I'm gonna turn the meeting over to Terry Williams and her team. I'm gonna ask Valerius and Terry and Floyd. Where's Val? Val, come over here, and Dr. Piper. Where's Clyde? Clyde, come on, and Greg. But these are guys that work. That, you know, they worked hard over the weekend while y'all were doing Christmas shopping. Come on, Clyde. Sharon, come on up. You were on the team, and also Jane. So y'all going to help present these awards. So Terry, you have the floor at this time. And let's bring up we're going to do the transparency ones first. So y'all going to have to bring those transparencies ones over. It's the circle one with the glass ones.
Thank you so much, TC. He's literally right. My cell phone was ringing over the holidays. I'm like, oh, it's TC. I just want to give you a brief background on these awards. And as you can see on your agenda, it's not going to every public entity, okay? It's going to those that have been most responsive. And when I say most responsive, we didn't just, pull their names out of a hat or whatever, but we asked for information through a survey, okay? The information that was based on 9 questions, real simple information. Name of the company, does your company have a formal policy?
That's right.
Formally adopted a business diversity policy? Does your agency have or employ a business diversity officer? Okay, we felt that that was most important as well. And then please provide a list of SMWBE firms that have received contracts over the last fiscal year period. And not just the list of names, but the list of names, the addresses, the status, if they were small, minority women, what have you, what type of contract they received, and the dollar amount. Okay, so these companies that you see listed here, they were responsive in providing a lot of that information. And then also being supportive, okay? These meetings, TC can't put on these meetings by himself, but agencies step up to the plate to help support what's going on here. We kind of laugh and joke, whatever, but this is serious business. And you can see the results that have occurred through these companies that have stood up here and provided testimony. So we wanted to see, okay, which agencies have supported by either hosting the event, the FCC meeting, by having how many officials of your agency have been here, how many CEOs, how many high-level officials have attended the meeting. Excuse me, suffering from allergies a little bit. And then, let me get the other question here. How many of your staff have contacted SMWBE firms when contracting opportunities are available? So this is what these meetings have all been about over the last several years, providing contracting opportunities with public entities. So with no further ado, I'd really like to call this the best in class, if you will, or the top San Antonio public agencies for small business contracting. Okay, now of course we had to have one winner in each of these categories, a champion, a quality of life champion winner, and a red carpet award. Before we get to that, we like to give the transparency and accountability award, and the first one goes to CPS Energy.
Now, let me say this, everybody can't be transparent. And so we think being transparent and being accountable to these businesses is very, very important. So we really appreciate CPS. And let me say this, I didn't have to ask CPS, Ross, if they wanted to sponsor the meeting. They came to me and said, look, can we host the Quality of Life Champion Awards? And I said, well, of course. Can we have it at the training center? They said, well, you got to go through security. I said, well, that's all right. So anyway, let's give it up for CPS. Next up.
And then our second award goes to San Antonio Water System.
Come on down.
Now, am I leaving somebody off the committee? Oh, I'm sorry, one of the founders of the FCC, Mr. Jarvis Moore. Come on up here, Jarvis. He's a founder of the committee. We wouldn't have the FCC if it wasn't for Jarvis. And Gene Mark, because Gene Mark would help pay for some of this. Come on up, Gene. Who else am I leaving out? Cecilia, come on. We got a big committee. You know, it's a trip working with 11 or 13 different organizations. Some of them got some big egos. Always some big egos in this one.
Sir, we just have you come
them around. Okay. One, two, three. We should stay right here.
He's gonna stand.
Bert, you were in those meetings too. You fed everybody. Oh,
I don't know if we have a representative from Brook City Base.
Is somebody here from the board of Brook City Base or former Brook City Base? Who gives a lot of money to Brook City Base? The city? Come on down, Renee. Let Renee represent Brook City Base.
Renee, come on down and represent Brook City Base. Okay, y'all get a picture with him for Brook City Base.
We go way back. We go way back. She from Coliseum. She from Coliseum Winter Park, and I'm from the East Terrace. See, a lot of y'all didn't know I lived in East Terrace and Sutton Home. Very nice. We used to call it Sutton, yeah.
All right, let's give it up for Brook City Base. Who's next?
Our next award goes to Alamo College.
All right, Alamo College. Jerry Obar. Come on, Ross. Now, let me say this about Alamo College. It was the running for the Red Carpet Award was between Alamo Colleges and VIA, but VIA won out. What can I say? Well,
We get it next year.
you got, well, I don't know, VIA, I mean, they put on a first class show. I mean, they rolled it out.
Great, here it goes.
Very good. Let's go to the next one, Terry. I think it's San Antonio Independent School District.
Do we have-
Anybody here from SAISD? Anybody connected with SAISD? Well, they're on holiday break. So we're gonna ask, let me see who's here real close to, who has a contract with SAISD in the room? Oh, wow, that's not good. Which board? Yeah, come on then, Brother Charles. Come on, Brother Johnson, except for the San Antonio Independent School District. Plus, it ain't ready yet anyway. Let's get a picture with Brother Johnson representing the San Antonio Independent School District. Give it up. Plus, you used to be the Alamo College District for a minute. All right, come on, get a picture in there, Jarvis. You and Sharon, come on over here. Don't act shy. Jane, come on. You know you're not shy to camera. Y'all love to take selfies. I tell you, we got a lot of Power Rangers. Man, you gotta have some jocularity. People take stuff too serious. You gotta have a little jocularity.
All right, well now it's time for the drum roll, although everyone knows who's.
Let me say something. Somebody kept asking me, Zarina, well, why is VIA getting the Red Carpet Award? Well, first of all, I tell Rosie and my staff to come in, the people at the front door there, because tell them all to come in. I want them to be in on this Red Carpet Award. The day we had the meeting at VIA, it was a rainy, cold day. And I told Rosie and I told Clyde, the team, members, my team, tell them to get in here right now. I want them to get a photo with it, taking all day. Tell them they can come in. Nobody's signing in. Nobody's signing in. Would y'all come into the meeting? I need y'all to get in the picture with the VIA. But I told Antonio and I told Clyde, I said, nobody's going to come to this meeting, Paula. I said, because it's raining and cold. They said, well, how many people going to show up? I said, maybe about 50. Let me tell you, we broke the record that day. And We had 250 people showed up for this meeting, small business people. And they said, well, why are you giving VIA the Red Carpet Award? I said, you want to know why they're getting the Red Carpet Award? It's not because they had their mascots out there, which they did, but you know, watch me, Paula. It's not because they had a carnation or a flower on the table with tablecloths. It showed that they respected small business people. Are y'all not listening to me, Lasagna? It showed that they had a lot of respect for business people. And they provided you with a breakfast. And they provided you with a lunch. And they paid for the birthday cake. We told them, no, we'll get one of our people to pay for it. They said, no, let us take care of that. Plus, they met with our team in advance. And we went over the logistics. But you know why they really got the Red Carpet Award, Clyde? It's because they sent out 5 email blasts to the vendors to come to this meeting. But wait a minute, you know what really capped it off? They sent email blasts to Saul's meeting, and we didn't even ask them to do that. They sent email blasts to everybody for the San Antonio Housing Authority, and we didn't ask them to do that. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Red Carpet Award to VIA Metropolitan Council, Mr. Jeff Arnold and his team. Y'all all come on up here. They didn't have to do this. But these people, let me tell you something. This lets you know, they let you know it ain't their money. They're letting you know that it's the people's money. But look, this is granted, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, get your team in here for a good vote. Where's Rosie Baca? And where is Clyde and Gary? Y'all get in this. Floyd Wilson. Floyd Wilson, yeah. They were, well, the only complaint we got, Sister Gray, was that some people said they couldn't find a place to park. No, at VIA. Yeah, go take that chair out, Greg. Did everybody get in? All the people want to get the picture taken? Now, Piper, y'all come on, Jarvis. Let me get the sisters. Do you have a contract with VIA, don't you? Y'all want to get a contract with VIA, you better get this photo. You better show up and show out. Okay, get all the tall people in the back. Dudley, you need to get up front. You're a little short. There you go. Jane, come on. Red Carpet Award. Are the rest of you taxing agencies hearing what I said about VIA? Yeah. You gotta get out there and do it. VIA went out there and they put the red carpet out. They had buckets out front, meeting the people, had signage, y'all. Well, Alamo College District did that too. We'll have to give you all a B+ on that. We ain't mad at you, Gary. All right, give it up for that team, VIA. Red Carpet. Red Carpet Award.
TC, I just want to tell you that my back is very sore today because I spent my entire holiday out in the forest shaking the trees.
Oh, very good. Very good. Now, big drum roll. Terry, I'll let you talk a little bit of why the city of San Antonio is getting the Cooperative Life Champion Award.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there were several questions that was asked, and City of San Antonio was most responsive. Okay, and first, thank you for it. And first in responding. When I say most responsive, in addition to submitting the survey, the list of businesses that was contracted with over that past period was sent several ways, broken down in several emails and Excel spreadsheets, and they also included subcontractor payments as well as the diversity policy, as well as additional outreach efforts that had been done. So, you know, in our mind, there was no doubt that City of San Antonio should be receiving this Quality of Life Champion Small Business Award. Please come.
All right, come on,
Renee, you want to say a few words? Here, Renee. Let's get some photos.
I think the great thing is my team and I know almost everyone in the room. I think you all would agree that we're very committed to small business. And I want to thank 3 different distinct groups, TC, if that's all right, in addition to you and the FCC, which we've been supporting for a couple of years.
Whatever you want to do.
Well, I'm going to call you out then, TC, right now, right here.
Don't you tell them how we used to bump heads.
I want to thank the small business community. Obviously, without you all being ready, willing, and able to do contracts, we wouldn't be as successful as we are at the city. So thank you. I'm a small business guy. The city hired me. I was running a small business loan fund, so I was the first director that came from the small business side. Secondly, I'd like to thank our leadership. Without resources to put everything in place that Terry mentioned, it would be very hard. The small business division is practically the largest division I have in the economic development department, and I think it really proves our commitment to small business growth. And so our leadership, the city council, and the city manager in particular, back in 2010, asked us to revamp the entire small business program, which we did. And I'm happy to report 2017 is the largest on-record utilization for small businesses that we've ever had. 49% of the city spend, I hope that resonates, 49% of the city's spend goes to small minority women-owned businesses, 37% of which is just merely minority and women. That's up from, this is going to set you back a little bit, in 1992 where it was just 10%. So you've seen that we've been very committed to this. The last group I'd like to acknowledge is the group right here, our small business office. These are the folks that wake up every, it's not me, TC likes to thank me and call me out all the time, but it's really these guys. Amen. The small business office, the commitment of Michael Sinden and his team. These guys are always committed. These guys are the ones that respond to every need that you all might have. They wake up every day advocating for small business use. So thank you again on behalf of the city of San Antonio.
Okay, let's get the photo op going. Where does Michael Valdez used to be on Fox? Is he still here? Yes. Michael, where are you at? I didn't know you were still here. Tell me. Let's come on, Jarvis, get in, because you got some city contracts. Zarina got a contract, one of our, let me ask this. Every small business here that got a contract with the city, I want you to be in on this photo. Sharika, did Straight Line get something? Straight Line Management? B. Young Squire, she was one of our first Asian small businesses that got a contract, and we got Jane Gonzalez. Well, let me tell you about Jane. She was a debundling lady. We got the debundle. Everything got debundled on the Jane. Everybody say debundle. Yeah, some of those big guys didn't want to hear that word. We debundled. Especially the ones from out of town. They didn't want that debundling going on. All right.
Unfortunately, I've got to walk out, but thank you so much for coming today, and we'll get you back in here soon. Thank you.
All right. Let's give it up for Paula Van Williams, straight out of Coliseum, neighborhood, right down the street. That's what I like about CPS. They got a sister from right down the street, from the neighborhood. Amen. No, we're gonna go get it fixed up. Yeah, we're gonna take it back and fix it up. Yeah, we're gonna put something on the top. Bless you. Okay, yeah. But before we do that, let's get all the birthdays. Let's get all the January and December birthdays up to the front. Yeah, just a minute. Okay, December birthdays, and I'm gonna ask Mr. Decker. Where's Decker from? Let me just say this for him. Okay, guys, this guy comes all the way from Austin, Texas, and he provided the birthday cake. Bring the birthday cake right here. Bring it over here, the birthday cake. Can I get all January and December birthdays up front? If you have a birthday in December and January, we want you to come stand here on stage. Right in front here. Just line it up. Line it up right there. January, where's Rebecca? From CPS. Yes. Becky, is it Becky or Rebecca? I got Rebecca Baby here.
Rebecca, when is your birthday? Okay, stand right here. Stand right there. All right, what about, okay guys, come behind me. Come up here. Come up here, guys. Come on, guys. Right up there. Where's Mr. Decker? Come on up, Mr. Decker. From Legal Shield. Who else? Okay. Mr. Decker, where's your wife? Bring your wife up to you. She's the main one that's behind me. Behind every good man that's a good woman. Come on, Legal. Let me tell you, Legal Shield sponsored the cake, and these guys, how many miles did you travel here?
160 mile round
Okay,
trip.
Bill, tell about it.
160 mile round trip. I'm worth every minute. And I'd like to.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, 1 minute, please. Hold up, guys. Okay, in the back, Judge Linson, some of y'all, hey, one meeting, please. Everybody say one meeting. One meeting. We're not through. One meeting. Gene, this is not a Democratic Party or Republican meeting. One meeting, please. You're sure, Joe, you and Jane, take it outside. Okay, let's start with the birthdays. We're going to start with Rebecca. Tell us your name, where you work, and how old you are. No, you don't have to tell us how old you are. You can just tell us what day your birthday is. Here you go. And pass the mic to the next person.
Becky Bailey, CPS Energy, and it's my big 6-0, so I will share it.
You're looking good. What day is your birthday?
6.
Very good. That's Saturday.
I'm Doshi Piper, I work at the FCC, and my birthday was December 4th.
Very good.
Ross Richard, Alamo College. My birthday is Sunday the 7th.
Very good. Y'all should celebrate together.
I'm Chris Dawkins. My company is eLogs Plus. We do logs for truck drivers as well as
Okay, that's enough. Just so
access.
Okay, it's your birthday.
January 20th.
Okay.
Hi, Zarina Shakir, December 12th.
Very good, Serena. Who else got a birthday? All right, go ahead.
Hi, Dave Sanchez, Hispanic Contractors Association. Birthday is January 9th.
Okay.
Turning 62.
So what we're gonna do? Okay, who else got a birthday?
Okay, look, guys, here's how we're going to do it. And look, we don't want this little dry birthday song. We're going to sing it with some soul. And we're going to say happy birthday, December, January babies when it comes to that part. So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. You're out of tune. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, December, January babies. Happy birthday to you. Let's go with the announcements now. Who has an announcement? Hispanic contractors. Let's go with the announcements. We got the East Side Housing Workshop Saturday, 1 o'clock. Where's Sister Gabriella? Did she leave? Tell her to come on and do the announcement for the housing workshop. Okay? Yeah, right here. Give your announcement. Right
Dave
here.
Sanchez, Hispanic Contractors. We're pleased to install our new board of directors January the 17th.
All right.
In February, Bear County is going to be our guest speakers for our monthly meeting. And in March, the city of San Antonio will be our guest speakers for our monthly meeting.
Okay, give her the mic. She's gonna make her announcement. Just make your announcement on the big
Wednesday, next Wednesday, January the 10th at the Brooklynite, my team and I, will be Michelle Events, will be hosting our 4th annual Dream Big Mixer. So I hope to see you guys out. The Brooklynite is right off of Broadway in Brooklyn. Really, really nice spot. It's our 4th one. So we are definitely happy to be growing. And we want to definitely thank the SCRC team for sponsoring this event. So we definitely appreciate you guys, Charles. So January 10th, Wednesday, Brooklynite, 5:30 p.m.
Okay, come now with your announcements and forever hold your peace. Black contractors, do you have an announcement? Jarvis, don't y'all have something coming up?
No.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, you want to come with your announcement? Announcements, because I don't want you calling me at the house later saying, you let everybody do their announcement, Calvin, but you didn't let me do mine.
On CPS, where Paula left out was she is a big advocate of people first. And Ed, I think you have the biggest challenge is which people is she trying to satisfy? The ratepayers?
Sister.
The ratepayers for the most part, but she also does what's good for, especially the employees. That's come, you've got some CPS employees that have been there 30, 40 years. They're just there forever. They're good. They take care of the people. And, but it's all about people first. You talked about tree shakers, apple pickers. I would put Paula and CPS in the rank of seed planters.
All right, very good. Very good.
All right, now most of y'all know Sister Gabrielle, she's with the Holy Spirit Sisters and a member of Cops Metro. She's got a big housing event coming up Saturday.
Okay, on Saturday the 6th, we're going to have a housing workshop at Holy Redeemer Catholic Church from 1 to 3 on Saturday. And all of you are welcome, and we're going to be explaining to our neighbors how they can apply for, if they qualify, for funds for several programs like let's paint, roofing,
plumbing, foundation.
Everything. Okay. TC is going to be on hand to keep me alert.
Let's give it up for the Irish Mafia. The Irish Mafia. Don't let that lady fool you. She's breathing on the money. Other announcements. Now, speak of forever hold your peace. Who else has an announcement? Where's the Hispanic Chamber? Okay, they're still with sugar plums dancing through their head. They're on break. Okay, I'm going to call out now. LULAC, do you have an announcement? Neighborhoods First Alliance. Okay, Neighborhoods First Alliance will have its planning meeting for the Martin Luther King March. We are the heavy lifters for the march, the original organizers with Reverend Callis. And we will be having our big planning meeting on Monday, 5 o'clock. Don't show up late. It will be a packed house. And the deputizing only takes 30 minutes. Via Metropolitan Transit is one of our sponsors for the big live remote and park and ride for the big event coming up on Monday. So these are the people who are keeping it real for Dr. King's legacy. So any other announcements? Any other announcements? Yes, sir. You got an announcement? Okay, well, first of all, we want to cut the cake. Make sure everybody gets a little cake. Floyd, do you have an announcement? Okay. So at this time, I'm going to just turn the meeting back over to, do you want to do the prayer first, or you want to do your announcement? You want to do your announcement, then I'll do the prayer?
Exactly.
Okay.
Again, I just wanted to say we at CPS Energy are proud to host this event. We are committed to this community and making sure that we serve you. Let's take advantage of the opportunities out there. There are many. They're not all being taken advantage of. So you need to step up, register, and take advantage of these opportunities that are there. They are there. And tell your friends and other business people that you know that the opportunities are there. And again, I just wanted to do a shout out to our supply chain, Rebecca Bailey,
All right,
Corley,
the finance man saying shout out.
yes, and Anthony Johnson. Thank you for helping organize this. And
Well, now, Rebecca.
I did. Yes, I started with her.
Oh, good.
I started with Rebecca. Thank them for all the work they do to handle the supply chain effort at CPS Energy. Thank you.
All right, the finance man. Now we're going to ask Pastor Jane Sue, who is an outstanding minister here in the community. Will she? Everybody join hands with the person next to you. She's going to give us the benediction.
I want to give all the honor and glory to the Lord for all his success, Lord. God is good. Heavenly Father, we come before your throne, Father God, and we just thank you, Lord, for this 2018, Father God, for many of your people, Father God, will be blessed, Father
Yes,
God.
Lord.
Father God, you don't bless obedience, Father God. So I pray for direction, Lord, and I thank you, Lord, for today, Father God, not only for the leaders of this city, Father God, but also, Father God, for your servants, Father God, that sit in the back line, Father God. And Father God, I thank you, Father God, for all that you do, Father God. Bless your people and bless their families. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Shake hands with the person next to you and tell them they're doing a good job.